All right, welcome everyone. We're Semblance of Sanity. I'm Caleb.
I'm Jacob.
And we're here for Monster, episode 28. Wow.
And Johan has
worked his way into this. And yes, he has made things go all too well.
Yeah.
Too much so. Way too much so.
And I mean, it makes sense, right? People have a stronger connection to positive emotions than negative emotions if you want to like influence them and stuff. So now
he's positioned as a person of utter trust.
Yeah.
Meaning that neither of them have any reason to doubt Johan or to suspect Johan when things go bad. Yeah. So this was passed along to me also by my by some of the people in Discord and stuff like that. We had been conflating. This is just completely unrelated, but we had been conflating the Nazi organization with the kid, or the not the kid. What was the
Roberto?
Well, we're conflating Roberto's organization with the Nazi organization for the previous bit. I just wanted to clarify that up really quick. Okay, thank you. Good for letting us know that now that we know. Okay. So, next bit, specifically with how Johan is kind of manipulating this whole sequence here. Yeah. Where do you think will be his first initial start of the switch? Like, where will he start the...
I don't know. I mean, he doesn't, the thing is, he doesn't really need to because they trust him so completely. I would not be surprised at all if they just made him, you manage the estate. You know,
so it's not going to be a thing where the other shoe's going to drop all of a sudden. He's going to reveal himself. It's just going to be perfect. I've worked my way perfectly into the family, and I don't even need to do anything anymore. Yeah, they will take care of me if I wanted them to until the day I die.
Right, like the way I see
Everything goes up from here.
Yeah, he's like a symbiote, right?
Yes, he's a symbiote,
and he's attached himself to the family, right? And now, like the best con men, they won't even know that they're being conned.
Sure. Like, I guess, though, it's a question of whether or not Johan really would care about the day-to-day resource value of being connected to them, though. It feels like he's more of a, I want the big fish, or none of this is really worth it. Maybe. So I feel like he's working a slow plan for sure, but I do think that there's going to be some kind of a point where he gets everything.
Sure, yeah, but it doesn't need to be soon.
No, it doesn't.
It could be a couple years down the road, or whatever. Who knows?
Yeah, which is pretty crazy to think about. That like Johan works this methodically, but he also doesn't. He doesn't fret. He doesn't get impatient.
Level-headed and cool,
and impressively intelligent and pure evil in a lot of ways.
Yeah, or at least that's what it certainly seems like, and then they make you question it, but then you're like, yeah.
All right, guys, this is crazy. This is, let's just get into this episode and see what happens. Yeah.
それで全てが解決したわけじゃない。あなたの息子を語ったエドムント・ファーレンの死因は自殺ではない可能性があるんです。
Doesn't want to wake up from the happy dream.
お茶が入りました。お父さん。
そうか。
ヨハンも来ていますよ。
そうか。吸血鬼と呼ばれた男とは思えない。
Yeah.
そうか。ヨハンも来てるのか。悪いが私はワインをいただくよ。
どうぞどうぞ。私は水で十分です。
Good man.
仕事が暇になったということだが、別に酒に関心が向いてる様子もないな。
ええ。その点は大丈夫です。犯人どもはまだこのシャバでのうのうと暮らしていると思うと、なんともやりきれないですよ。自分の能力のなさにね。
能力はあった。ただリヒャルト、あんたは必死になるあまり事件と自分を同一化しすぎた。犯人の心が読めないもどかしさがフラストレーションとなり、
酒に走った。
だってあの連続殺人鬼の少年を撃ち殺した。今やその事実に正面から向き合う。
And the fact that it was a youth, not just a serial killer.
何を考えたか思い出すことから逃げている。まだ見るんだろ。
I am very worried. If wait, no.
Oh, just his imagination.
Oh my gosh!
Wow.
That was chilling! Wow.
元にさらすか。会計士ホルマー殺人事件。被害者ヨアヒム・ホルマーは着実にキャリアを積み、誰からも恨みを買うような人間ではなかった。それがめった刺し、神の声殺人事件。被害者は元家政婦と運転手。どちらの犯行現場にも壁に神の声を聞いたというメッセージが殴り書きされていた。ドルナッハ社社長殺人事件。バイエルン州でも有数の資産家ルート・ガウク氏がハルトホルツの森で死体で発見された。重要参考人の日本人医師は未だ逃走中。ちょっと待て。よく考えろ。よく考え。
I just got the biggest chills over myself. Holy crap.
I want everything to turn out alright for this guy.
He's being followed. Extra pair of steps.
誰だ。あの時と同じだ。
聞かせてもらうよ。
あの時私は少年の中に見たんです。この世に存在することを知ったんです。本当の悪が。だから私はあの少年を撃ち殺したんです。
よし、よく話してくれた。あんたはこれで本当に立ち直ったよ。
私の抱えていたあのいくつもの未解決事件は実は一つの事件だったんです。
ドクター・ギーレン。先日君が送ってくれた君の著書「超越犯罪心理学概論」、興味深く読ませてもらった。デュッセルドルフ大学で私が教鞭をとっていた頃の教え子がこうして活躍していること。
Wait, no way. Oh my gosh! That's such a brilliant connection! That is so cool!
君が話してくれた連続殺人鬼ユルゲンスはある友人に命令されて殺人を犯したと語ったそうだ。
Okay, this is all connected.
もう一度教えてはくれないだろうか。ユルゲンスの語ったその友人の名前を。
Wait.
Yes.
Was it known that the name was actually Johan?
Johan. Yeah.
No way.
Yep.
追伸
What the heck? Okay. What the heck? This is so amazing.
Alright.
果たして今どこにいるのか。ドクター天馬という男は
神の声殺人事件についてもう一度伺ってもよろしいですか。
シューバルト？
ええ、確かお母さん以前にあの大富豪の家政婦をなさっていらしたとか。
ええ、でももう20年も前のことです。
辞められたのは何か理由があって？
当時体を壊しまして、この本棚の刺繍はすべてシューバルトさんが母にプレゼントしてくださったものです。
Wow.
ドルナッハ社長殺人事件の元担当刑事が今じゃ探偵とはね。ガウク社長に倒産させられた企業のリストは警察がとっくに分析しているはずですよ。
バイエルン州の有力な資産家といえばもう一人いますね。彼との関係は？
シューバルト氏ですか。
Everyone knows about Mr. Schuald.
それはもうライバルでしたよ。生涯かけたね。あなたご存知かね。シューバルトは過去に2度倒産を経験しています。
That's right.
2度目の倒産はガウク社長との熾烈な企業競争の結果なんですよ。実は友人だったんですよ。
So you know what it is? Johan isolated the old man. Johan killed everyone that he cared about.
But Johan's 20 and this was like 20 years ago.
But the thing is that
supposed to be. Holy crap! Oh!
シューバルトのところで運転手をしていましたよね。
Yep, see?
らしいな。でももう30年も前の話だ。
See, the connection to Shuvold is old, but not the deaths.
それ
See?
はシューバルトがその頃破産したからだよ。奴はよく言ってたよ。あの金持ちにバードウォッチングを教えたな。自分だって。
バードウォッチング
All the little things that he likes to do, so he's learning to psychoanalyze Shuvold without being close to him.
からも恨まれるようなことはありませんでした。それがあんな殺され方を。
お察しします。失礼ですが、確かご主人は。
はい。
What if this was
幼
actually
い頃
tied to
施設で
Johan's
過ごして
parentage?
里親のもとを転々として苦労の末会計士に。
ご主人はシューバルト氏から顧問会計士の依頼を受けていましたね。
違うって。夫はお金に潔癖な人でしたから。
ご主人と彼が知り合うきっかけは何だったのかご存知ですか？
ああ、森で会ったって。
森で？
まだシューバルトさんの目が見える頃ですが、森でばったりと。
All of this is spider webbing.
There's too much even to analyze, really. Like,
right?
バードウォッチング。子供みたいに喜ぶ。二人で朗読し合った。友人。
Whoa!
刑事時代抱えていたいくつもの事件は全て同じ方向を向いていました。これらはある一点でつながっていた。
Yeah.
全部の事件の被害者の死は全てシューバルトを孤独にするためのものだったんです。
right.
Okay. 神の声殺人事件の犯人が壁に書いた神の名前、そして私の抱えていた事件の中で唯一無関係に見える中年夫婦連続殺人事件、その重要参考人の日本人医師が取り調べの際語った犯人の名前、それら全ては共通の名前。ヨハン。
Yeah. And he got his letter back.
私は元教え子の犯罪心理学者がある友人の命令で犯行を犯した殺人犯の研究をしていた。手紙で知らせてくれたよ。その友人の名もヨハン。
They know too much. Yep. I'm so happy to see Johan.
も来ているのか。
Yeah.
いやあ、ヨハン、いい天気だな。
ええ、とっても。
Blonde. Boy.
Yeah.
Wow. That's like the one word that comes to mind. Just wow. This is like, I'm laughing because I'm nervous. Like, this episode actually made me nervous because he was so worried that he was gonna die at multiple points.
Well, and
multiple
the
points.
thing is, here's the thing: the fact that they did all this in one episode, that's amazing. Because all of this stuff of like the things that were happening, yeah, they had mentioned cases and things like that before, sure, but they hadn't really brought it up as being like immediately plot relevant. We were just thinking, okay, in the future, yes,
right,
cool, right. But then they brought it all up in this one episode, did all the stuff there, had the inspector start, or the detective or whatever, but like, he's getting attempts on his life now, like, and we don't know whether that's Johan or, I mean, yeah, it's Johan.
Well, the thing is, it is Johan, we just don't know how much of it is physically Johan. Like, it's Johan's influence, but who knows? He might be making other people do it for him.
Right.
It's not important.
And here's the thing. Some of them, like, okay, the car. Sure. All right. But then there's things like the I-beam, the steel I-beam dropping off the building. Like, okay, that's... He would have to know that he's walking that way. He's going to be walking that way and preemptively get to the people up there. Well, and also make it so that they know how to time it so that it'll actually hit the ground.
It's easy, Jacob. Johan has been here. in this city for a while.
Yeah, yeah.
What are the odds Johan has like an army of people already throughout the city?
Oh yeah, I know. And
under his control.
Right, and that's why having him have long-term plans, that's one of the reasons why it's no big deal for him, because he knows how to stay busy, right? And they can do things like this, and they don't need to show him actually directly influencing the people, because we know he can do it, and we know how smart he is. So, yeah, he's got a network. And,
the way you said that, the way Johan knows how to stay busy.
Yeah, like, I mean...
That's terrifying. Yeah.
Guys. Yeah. He's a PC that knows how to use his downtime. And then there was that whole bit. I loved how they made the connection between Tenma's old classmate and the counselor. That was just wonderful. Like, that was brilliant. Like, one of those great little like coincidences, but then is it really a coincidence? Like, who knows? And then, you know, like, because here's the other thing, right? This is in the 90s. They get a letter with this information. There's these two people that know Johan is doing all these things, and he is right there with Mr. Schuwald and all that stuff. It's like, why couldn't there just be the internet? So they just like, all right, post, circulate the interwebs. All right, there's
a certain number of stories out there that would be solved a bit too quickly with smartphone technology.
Right, exactly.
And you know what? I'm fine with that.
Yeah, but
it keeps the dramatic tension high.
Oh, it totally does.
It slows down the flow of information so that we can have more of an episodic kind of methodical story.
Oh yeah, but it's just one of those things of like Tenma. Like, there's so many times I feel like where really good important information comes up that Tenma could really use. You know, it'd be very nice if he had it.
Johan would have access to that information. And he would be 1,000 times more terrifying.
That's true. That's true.
Like, if Johan had access to 21st century technology, the world would already be under his control.
Oh yeah, because he wouldn't need to be in a city in order to manipulate people. He'd just be like,
he would never be found out.
Yep. Oh boy.
He would just get access to money and then slowly rise from there until he'd be unstoppable, and it would all be over.
Yeah.
Like this whole thing of him needing, 10 years essentially. Nah. He would rule the world at 16. Like, he would be done at 16. Here he is at what, like 20 or something? Yeah. This is crazy though. But the cool thing is that the detective and the counselor, the psychologist, they both know. They now know that there's someone named Johan that's doing this, and the detective has seen Johan physically. Which, now this is an interesting thing. Johan is risking a lot by not acting faster here. So I wonder if this is actually all part of his plan.
Because here's the thing. If Johan really wants the Inspector dude dead, then he'd make sure he's dead, right? Right now, this seems... he's not doing it seriously, it seems like, and if that's the case, then what's his game?
But he's by not killing him, with certainty, by not making an act to kill him with certainty, he's incentivizing this guy to chase harder and become more attracted to the scent of blood on his hunt for Johan.
Because here's the other thing. Okay. Johan, even though he's smart and he's good and all that stuff, and Mr. Schuwald basically has the blinders on now. He doesn't want to think about how the other, kid maybe didn't commit suicide, right?
Right.
He still just can't kill people all the time because the bodies leave a trail. Right?
Yes.
Even if he does it very well, it's still the fact that this person died and this person died and this person died, right?
Right.
The killings that he orchestrated, for Schuwald, that was over the course of 4 years, right? So it almost seems like if he really wants the Inspector dead, he needs to come up with some way to like lead him somewhere else, right? Try and get at his family or something like that, so that way they end up being like, oh yeah, let's all become a happy family again or something like that. And then once they're away and over and he's no longer really thinking about the cases, then kill him or something.
There you go.
But I don't know. And there's the connection point of that the counselor sent the letter to the other guy, so there is potentially a connection to Tenma. Even though it wouldn't be all the information and all that stuff, he could be like, oh yeah, by the way, someone was asking about the Johan person and all that stuff. You know, this maybe you should look into that.
We also don't know what timeline this is all taking place in relatively to Tenma's events. So Tenma might get this letter before he leaves for Munich, and that might be what instigates him leaving to go to Munich. That might be why he left all of a sudden way back when earlier, is he got a letter, correspondence.
Yeah, possibly. And it could also be something where...
I mean, he knows Johan is there.
Right,
But now it might be a thing of like, no, you need to go there now. Like, he's making a play.
And even if they do have something where the psychologist dude can, like, has information for Tenma, again, it's not the information age. He might not have any way of knowing where Tenma is or how to contact him.
Yep.
Because cell phones don't exist.
Yep. And Tenma is a wanted man right now.
Right.
So Tenma's not going to make himself easy to find for just anyone.
Exactly.
Because then, other problems come into play.
Yeah.
So with this whole situation, Johan, I have to assume, again, all this is going according to plan.
Yep.
The only thing that seems a little bit off, though, is everything regarding the detective.
Right.
Now, the detective is one who could be all under the control of Johan's thumb already. And the whole thing with the boy and the murder and that whole thing, that was manipulated by Johan. He was being watched by the other window by a neighbor or something. He was the one that got the guy into alcohol, and that's why he did all that there. And everything with the detective could be manipulated, and I kind of want it to be. This is the thing, though. I don't think it makes perfect sense with the information that we have right now.
Right.
But I think that we will get new information to find out that if this is the reveal that we thought was big, like there's going to be even bigger reveals coming later.
Yeah, yeah.
And I think one of them is going to be that the detective is completely wrapped around.
Yeah, exactly.
Johan's
even
thumb.
if he doesn't know it, and even if it's not direct influence of being able to just say, "Hey, shoot yourself in the head," that kind of
nothing
stuff.
like that.
The idea that you think this has a happy ending, you haven't been paying attention. Like
none of these characters are Tenma.
Nope.
And in my prediction, the only people that are actually going to be alive of importance are Johan, Tenma, now potentially Dieter, but also
maybe Anna.
Anna.
Yeah.
Anna and or Dieter.
Yeah.
But
this was an insane episode.
This is crazy. One of the things that's really crazy, though, is that it is a pseudo-exposition episode.
Yes.
Now, here's the thing. I love to criticize exposition when it's done in such a way. But there's this thing where you basically have contextual exposition through a quest, basically. So let's say you have a character who is searching for the truth.
Sure.
And they constantly are strung along to different set pieces for the purpose of getting contextual exposition towards the truth. It is a sort of progression, if you will.
It's a way to make there still be conflict within the exposition because the person doesn't know everything about what they're expositing, right?
Yep.
You see their thought process and stuff.
Yep.
And then the fact that we're seeing these attempts on his life at the same time is helping, one, to keep the tension high, but also to make it so that we are interested in what he says because we know he's on the right track.
Right.
He's not there yet, but he's getting there.
Yeah, it's the same thing that I think Lost did a really good job on, was stringing along more context that led to more questions.
Sure.
And giving conflict along the way so that the primary character, who just happened to be involved with the search for the truth in that episode, was engaging.
Right.
And specifically in this, I was just, and I want to call out something. You know how Shuold is called the Vampire of Bayern?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
He's not the Vampire of Bayern, guys.
Yeah.
He's not. At least not recently. Someone else has taken up that title.
Because aren't vampires usually beautiful and pale?
Yeah, beautiful and pale. Suck the life out of others that touch. They avoid public places in the sunlight and stuff. They operate in the dark.
They
even have powers of manipulation.
And one of the other things about vampires is the idea that it could be anyone.
Yep. Yeah.
So, yeah.
Wow. Oh my gosh. But
Johan is a parasite.
Johan is a parasite, a symbiote. Like he is someone that comes in and
he latches
basically
onto his
takes
host
and just sucks them dry.
Yep.
I'm wondering though who's going to be the people that will make it out of this alive.
I don't know.
I feel like Tenma's going to just come in and find all of this already resolved. And it's going to be like, well yeah, Shuold's alive. Sure, yeah. But like everything is in Johan's control.
But the thing is, they don't have to. Like they could, because they could have had Tenma just show up in Munich and investigate all these series of murders, and like all these characters if they end up getting killed off in the past tense, right?
Right.
But they didn't do that, so that makes me think that okay, some of them are still going to be alive because we want Tenma to be able to interact with them and already have a grounding and an anchoring with this character, so we actually care what happens, right?
For sure.
It's not just some random person that they're bringing up out of the blue, or at least it doesn't seem like that, right? But yeah, a lot of them are going to die. So you don't know, but you don't know who, and you don't know when, and you don't know how many of them in total, and oh boy.
I liked that. I think we were both catching on to this, but I liked that they were mentioning how that these people were not necessarily connected to Shuold recently, but essentially these are all the old friends of Shuold, and by Johan killing them, he is isolating Shuold. And this is the thing, though, is that
so that he in his will he'll leave it to just the one person.
He'll leave it to just the one person, but also he will essentially stake his entire being on finding that one person.
Right.
So all this changed in 4 years. Now the thing is that Shuold is smart, right?
Yeah.
Shuold, however, seems to be a detached individual. So he had to wait. He had to wait. Like Johan, if he knew about this plan before he even started it, like if he was planning the plan,
right?
There was a point where he started the plan, but that means before that he was planning the plan.
Yes.
When he was planning the plan, he had to make sure Shuold was in a place where he wouldn't get suddenly very worried about all his old friends dying.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Right. Right.
So Shuold being in a specific state, potentially even before this plan took place, might have been also Johan's
according
doing.
to Johan's Keikaku. Yeah.
Like, I wonder, think about it this way. If Johan's plan is to be the last living person alive in this world, which sounds like a really ridiculous plan, but since that's the only thing we have to go on right now, let's run with it. What does he need? He needs basically national level power.
Right.
What does Shuold have? National level money, which is power, basically.
Yeah. Right.
So, if his basic thought process when maybe he was like 12 or 13, he's been free from the orphanage for a bit,
right?
And he's like, okay, I now have my plan. He's going through puberty. He's his his brain is opening up and stuff like that, and he's like, okay, I need more money than anyone else in the world. Where can I nearby get access to a lot of money? Oh, this guy. Everyone knows about him. How do I do this? I need to become his the most trusted person in his life.
And I can do that in two ways. I can make it so that he trusts me a lot. I can also make it so that I remove the people that he would trust.
Yep. And he just
does both. Yeah. Yep.
And then manipulates the one person that he has left.
This is really like making me think of like the part in V for Vendetta when like he like flips the dominoes and then it
just the chain reaction.
Yeah.
I can't help but on some level, because I played a lot of strategy games, I can't help but admire the levels of strategy that like Johan has gone to. But it's more of like I am terrifyingly admiring it because it goes beyond the realm of probable into the realm of like, is Johan even human anymore?
Right. Exactly.
Like,
yeah.
How can he know? And I think that's another thing, is that Johan is a presence in as much as he is a person and a character.
Yep.
But the point is that when he's not on screen, there's no limits as to what he can actually be doing.
Right. It's the mystery element. It's the unknown. And Yep.
It's basically the nightmare where once you have it in your view, you're not scared of it because the realm of possibilities as to what it's doing just lessen dramatically.
Right.
It's
the
like
devil
when
you know versus the devil you don't.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's like when you see a spider in your room and you see it and you're like, oh good, you're up there in the corner. Wonderful. But then suddenly the spider's gone and you're like, well, crap, I'm out of here.
Burn the house down.
Burn the house down, leave everything behind. Doesn't matter. Johan is that spider.
Right.
He's the spider that sits in the corner and goes, oh,
yeah.
you don't need to worry about me.
Because if you have him in front of you, then you can think, and you know what kind of a monster he is. Either you're going to die soon, or, oh, okay, now you see him, he's a squishy meat person, you know.
Just like me.
Just like me, right? He can still die, right?
Yeah.
You know, he's not some god or something, right?
But then when he's gone...
and you're just like, you know, I really don't feel safe right now. Like
the stuff they did with sound for the detective being followed and stuff was
wonderful,
absolutely gut-wrenchingly, butt-clenching, just terrifying.
And the worst part about it was that there were points where he was actually having attempts made on his life.
But then the other parts where he's seemingly going crazy, you know.
Exactly.
Hallucinating and stuff.
And we, the audience, don't know which one is which, right?
We don't.
When there's that person pointing the gun at him, you know, from across the way, and we can't actually see them, we don't know if, you know, he's going to jump out of the way, and then he'll look again, and they'll be gone, and that's because they actually are gone, or whether they'll fire, and he'll just be like, ah, and nothing happens, or they'll fire, and he drops dead, right? So, yeah.
I want to put out a theory that Johan set him up to be this way, to be the perfect fall for maybe once Schuwald dies, that this guy ended up doing it.
Okay.
And that was maybe,
I like it.
Maybe why you know this whole thing came about. Basically,
Sure.
Johan is already prepping the perfect case for this detective to solve for someone else.
But he already knows Johan's name.
But that's the thing. That's why he has to die.
Right, that's why he has to die, yeah.
But I think I think the fact that he'll know Johan's name will lead him to do some things that are a bit irrational, because he'll think like,
okay,
look, he's right there. I can do something about it.
And see, this is the thing. Anytime you have a situation like this where you're like, whoa, a lot of stuff, like, there's a lot of weight to what's going on right now, right? Immediately, what you should be doing, whether this is the story of like the crime bosses that amass massive amounts of wealth or whatever, or people investigating a murder, and they're like, oh, I'm going after someone dangerous and I think I might know who they are. The first thing you'd want to do, I would think, would be to basically cover your bases, right? Have multiple different ways of basically making sure that it's not a single point of failure.
What is it?
In this case, the information. Right?
Okay, well, what does that entail? Telling people? Who can he tell?
Like, well, he could say, okay,
his wife? His ex-wife? She doesn't care.
Send it to news.
He's literally telling it to the one person that he can actually trust.
He could send it to news stations and have them just be like, hey, here's a crazy story.
Yeah, now you're crazy.
Well, yeah, but he could also just send it. But the point is that even if someone dismisses you one time for being crazy, if the story is out there, then they'll be able to say, oh, yeah, this might have some weight to it.
Right. I was going to bring up the point that what if Johan isolated this guy too, intentionally? By creating the perfect circumstance to have this youth be the one that he shot and killed, which would then drive him into alcoholism, which would then drive away his family, his friends, and the only person he could trust is this counselor. What if the counselors... Like, I'm going way heavy into the crackpot theory side of things, I know, but I'm going to assume at the very least the two most important non-Schuwald members in this plot are all completely manipulated by Johan, either directly or indirectly.
Sure. Like even the daughter, right? She could have a friend. The inspector's daughter. She could have a friend that she talks to, and that's why she didn't want to go see him. And because of that, that drives him into a specific state of mind, whatever.
Sure, I think that would be like the next level crackpot theory kind of thing I'm talking about. But yes, I agree in that
that's all on the table.
It's all on the table
because this is Johan, and we don't know what he is doing, can do,
But the fun thing about this story is that we get so much excitement and entertainment value and like tension when we get to see Johan's actions come to light just a little bit, where we're able to get a look behind the curtain and go, what is he doing back here? Oh my gosh, he's doing a lot. A lot. And I think that's the big thing. You mentioned the devil you don't. Johan, the devil you don't see, basically. Like, that is Johan. That really
Yeah.
is Johan. He is not trying to stand out and be some, like, you know, pompous, like, presentation villain.
This is an excellent example, I would say, of the idea of less is more.
Yes.
Right? Now, of course, they lay it on thick with all, like, the tension stuff. But when it comes to Johan, right, he's not around much. Like, how much do we actually see him? Rarely. Like, this is an actual Johan-centric story arc, and we barely see him.
But we've seen him more in this than we have in the entire show, basically, combined up until this point.
Pretty much, yeah. And they're able to have him have this much of an effect on the audience, even causing them to have, you know, like physical, like,
guys
things that they're feeling.
Like,
you know,
I was having, like, hot and cold, like I was warm, hot here, and my extremities and stuff were getting cold just from, like, fear, like, feeling this. Like, this is really crazy. Like, what the heck? No, don't mess around with that. Don't get violent here. So, with where things are going to go next, they're going to have to make a play of some kind.
Yep.
I do think that you're right, though, that they need to communicate this to more people. I do think, though, that on some level they've already communicated enough by having the letter go out to the other person, but they need to give more.
Exactly, yeah.
Do more, and then relay that back
exactly
to your other channels in other places.
Right, and then they from there can send it out to other places and, you know, whatever.
Right, and maybe Johan doesn't care because they don't have any evidence, you know?
Sure.
So it's like, oh, cool, you think I'm this. I don't care. Like,
right, but
no
I mean,
evidence.
they kind of do have evidence because this is the big issue, right? Since this isn't the information age, Johan could have just been changing his name.
Sure,
right,
totally.
and that actually is some cool insight into his character, the fact that he's so attached to his name, right?
Yes,
and his identity,
which is basically the name John.
Right, but
which
like,
brings back the whole Revelations thing in the beginning. You know?
But the fact that he has this attachment to his identity with the whole concept of potentially a split personality, that's cool. But because if he had just simply changed his name, it's not like they could just like look up on like Google Images.
Well, he had other aliases.
Yeah, he had other aliases.
He did.
But the fact that he's still using Johan as the main name,
as his primary name,
right? Like the idea that he should be changing his name every different place he goes to.
He should have 10 primary names.
Right? Yeah. Why should Johan have actually been his name? You know, like that should have just been one of a dozen, right?
I think that Johan has just enough ego to want to have that presence. So here's where I see it, is that Johan actually enjoys the presence or having that influence over others.
But well, yes, but does he enjoy the presence? Because it seems like what was it? He was constantly like isolating people that knew about him and things like that. And like,
I'm not talking about memory. I'm talking about presence. So this has nothing to do with knowledge.
Okay.
So like when Johan's presence is over someone, they are so gripped in fear if he does it right.
Sure.
That they forget that Johan was even a person. Like I think he likes that. It's basically the manipulation.
Gotcha.
Yes,
it's the very fact of putting a weakness out there that can never be used because he's just that good.
Yes, I just think he likes feeling powerful.
Okay.
I think he likes that. I think he enjoys on some level. And I think he even mentioned it in one of the scribblings, you know? Like, didn't he, or what did he mention something that he was like, no, he mentioned something that he didn't like he was afraid of
the monster is already this big, you know, help.
Yeah, but okay, maybe, no, that's, okay. Well, what I'm basically thinking is that, like, he has this much ability.
Right.
He uses it. He doesn't seem to have the empathy to really care about how it makes any of these other people feel.
Sure.
So, on some level, if he has an attachment to who he is, his identity, the Johan persona,
right?
Oh, he must like it. He has to like it. He has to, at the very least, find some like
there has to be
hormonal response. In
some sort of emotional attachment to the name, whether it's because of the whole power thing or because of the whole idea of maybe this is all the split personality thing and he wants to remember who he is, kind of a thing, or whatever.
Right. I do think though that since he, you know, he is technically a serial killer. Yeah. He wants someone to follow him. He wants someone to notice him, and I could see that person being just Tenma.
Gotcha. And he's like, well, Tenma's taking a while to get to Munich, so I'll use this inspector guy for now.
Oh, that too. I could also see it being a thing where that's all just practice for, someone like Tenma. Who he considers in some way to be kind of his savior. But
sure.
Also, he has a family member out there that he needs to find him at some point. Otherwise, he has to go waste time and look for her.
That's a good point.
So
he's intentionally leaving a trail for the
I think he's intentionally leaving
just
enough of a trail for the very specific people that he wants. But
Gotcha.
the thing is that because he has no past, because he has no history beyond a certain point, he's creating a history that he just has to be careful with. So you don't think of the name Johan and then go, well, what's his last name? Oh, well, it's obviously this. No, you have no idea. Where did he come from? Who knows? Would he has any identity records or anything like that? We haven't found any under the name Johan. Like, his actual name could be something else. Like, he could go by that, but it's like, there is no Johan in this city that, I mean, or maybe there's 50 Johans. But,
exactly.
Yeah. Okay, so in summation, fantastic episode, terrifying episode, really clever use of exposition by keeping it in context with the detectives' conflict to find the truth, and also tying in all the previous stuff with some of the side characters that Tenma had interacted with.
And just the whole thing of, the vampire Bayern and all that stuff.
Yes.
Yeah.
Great stuff.
Can't wait to see what happens next.
Yeah. This arc is going into, like, some of the best stuff we've ever seen.
I mean,
like,
it easily beats the pants off of the neo-Nazi or whatever, or the Nazi arc. Like.
Well, I was even thinking, like, let's go back to, like, the beginning. The beginning stuff. That was chilling. That was
chilling, and that was really good. But that was very much set up.
Yeah.
So it was just setting the tone for the story, right? So it didn't, in a lot of ways, it didn't really feel like an arc in my mind.
Sure, it was an intro arc for Tenma more than anything, really.
Right.
And it did have an intro of sorts for Johan, but there was no arc for him.
Yeah.
But this is a proper, like, I don't know, like, what would you say this as? Act 1 finale?
I don't even know.
Like, this is just,
because here's the thing, this could feel like filler in some eyes if it wasn't so tied to everything, because it's whole new cast of characters, and we're like, okay, by the end of this, most of them, if not all of them, are going to be dead, and all that stuff. But at the same time, because it's tied to Johan, we know it's not, and
on a scale of 1 to 10, like 0 being you don't think so at all, 10 being it totally is, how much do you actually think, though, this is filler?
Oh, none.
Oh,
none.
Okay. That was just a weird connotation to bring into it.
Just that it could, like, I could see the similarities are there, even though it totally isn't that.
Oh, so you think some person out there thinks that this is filler?
No, okay. But if they did this without all the things of tying it back to Johan and everything so well, then it would be. Johan is the linchpin for all of this. And the fact that they're able to do that really well is fantastic, because the characters are the story, right?
Okay.
Anyways,
Gotcha.
Point is, great stuff.
Yeah.
Really
fantastic stuff. I'm really looking forward to how the whole thing is going to resolve.
Yeah.
I have a little bit of a kind of a bloodthirsty ending that I kind of want to have go. Because they've set up a couple other things, and one of the things in particular that I'm really excited about is, what we could get before this is all over. Schuold has been on Johan's mind for a long time, right?
Yeah.
But the thing is, there's invisible people out there that all could end up being Johan. There's people that haven't been identified as who they are, that were at key points in the story, the backstory of all this, at specific points.
Right.
We could get a Johan flashback of seeing him doing these things.
I don't think we'll get that, because they've never actually shown Johan as a perspective character.
I didn't say it would be his perspective. I just said we would get backstory.
Okay.
It could be Schuold's backstory. It could be either of their backstory. But we have seen flashbacks of sorts to the orphanage.
Well, yeah, right. But that was from a specific person that was sort of an observer. So they could do like a montage of flashbacks with all the different observers, like Carl's mom, you know, and showing how that was actually Johan that killed her, or, you know, whatever.
Right. I just think it would be very apropos for Schuald to have it, because Schuald is the character that was the most important throughout this whole arc.
Okay.
Besides, he's the focal point of all the conflict. That's the better way to say it. He's not the most important character by far of Johan or even Carl or the detective, but he's the focal point of it, and it would be very chilling to have basically a conversation between Johan and Schuald.
Sure, yes.
Where basically
I'm all for good conversations.
Johan and him, they talk. And the kind of talk where we basically are like
just jaws on the floor,
like just jaws on the floor, just like shrinking into our seats of just like, I don't feel good.
I mean, that sounds fantastic. Like that, you know, it's one of those things where it's like, yes, that would always be a good idea. Like I feel like Monster could always, you know, we could always stand to have a few more of those.
Right.
You know?
I just think that ending as like an idea of having this whole thing where like the detective's dead, Carl's dead, everything is worked out perfectly according to Johan's Keikaku, and then he talks with Schuald. I feel like that isn't the bloodthirsty ending that I'm wanting.
Gotcha.
I'm wanting a little bit more of a like, and now I assemble you all into this place, and it's a little bit more barbaric than what we'd come to expect from Johan.
Yeah, it almost
but I kind of
like...
want to have that cognitive dissonance, because I don't want Johan to be perfectly like always like looking like he's like, oh, this is worked out, but then he has to. I want to see him enjoy something in a way that's unsettling to me.
I'm getting the vibe that you're wanting some sort of like cult Cthulhu mass like murder suicide thing.
No. Okay, I can see how you would think that, yes, but like more along the lines of, he just went and killed those associates, remember, that were in the mansion? He just went and killed them?
Yeah.
That. Sure. Someone stumbles in and just the bodies.
Yeah.
And it's just like...
Because that's the real question here, is that Tenma is on his way to Munich, right?
Yeah.
When he gets here, what is he going to find?
Right.
Is he going to have any allies? Is everyone going to be dead? You know, what is
that's the kind of thing. I want Tenma to be the one that kind of stumbles in and is just like, yeah, there's a horrific accident at the Schuald mansion recently. You know, the boy Carl is dead, Johan's dead, Lot is dead.
He's like, wait, Johan's dead.
Yeah,
what?
Did you know that the detective, he killed them all? Like, he went crazy and, you know, burned the place down, but not before, like, you know,
right.
blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
And Johan fakes his death and does, you know, away with everything. And, you know, Schuald, you know, was going to give all of his, you know, assets away to his son,
but now everyone's dead. So
he put it into a lock with the holdings of this specific thing there, and this parent umbrella corporation or whatever that Johan controls via being a part of the black market group, like all those years ago and stuff, and all that. I just want like a swift like end to it whenever it does end.
Gotcha.
Rather than
a
like
climactic ending, rather than
it out.
Oh yeah,
and people being like, "Oh no!" You know? Right. So, anyways, enough of me rambling, guys. This is a fantastic set of episodes. So good, and like, I can't wait for what's coming next.
Oh yeah, it's gonna be good.
It's gonna be so good. But if you want to watch the next episode's reaction right now, go check out the link in the description below for our Patreon. You can get an early access there. You can watch full-length reactions there, and all this comes with Discord access. So you can chat with us about stories, Johan, or whatever. Anything that interests you, we'll see you there. But until then, we're Semblance of Sanity. I'm Caleb.
I'm Jacob.
And we'll see you all next time.